Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Happiness. It's still me, that happy girl. It's good to see you again. There comes a time in a guy's life, in a girl's life, where all they want to do is find the right someone, ask, get accepted, plan a huge wedding and get married. Now, if you find yourself in that category, be you a guy, be you a girl, there are a couple of things that you need to ask yourself. There's a lot of things that you need to find out, a lot of boxes you need to check before going ahead to ask, get accepted, and then say I do. Now, these are the things that I'm going to be talking about in this video today. So go nowhere, pull your seat closer, sit back and relax. Let's go on this ride. And hey, don't say because you're married already you don't need this video. This is for you also, because I may be putting out a couple of points that you really did not know before now that you could use to give advice to your friend, to your child, to your neighbor, to your church person. You could just add what I'm going to say today to your wealth of knowledge that you could use tomorrow to lecture or advise somebody tomorrow. So whether you're married or about to get married, this video is for all of us. So please stay tuned, come with me on this journey. Let's do this. In recent times, most marriages hit the rocks sooner than they already started. Why? Because the couples spend their courting days doing the wrong things. And trust me, duration of courtship has nothing to do with a successful marriage if you don't tick out these boxes I'm going to be listing out below in no particular order. First, I'm going to be talking about social compatibility. What do I mean by that? So guys, before you propose, girls, before you say yes, ask yourself, does this guy, does this girl fit into this future I have planned out for myself? Like growing up, you all have this fantasy you build about what you want in a mate, how you want your married life to look like. Do you see this person fitting into that image, that mental picture you've created before now? Is he or she, for example, you're one who are a stickler for class and eloquence and you know all those tush mende, and he or she is as crude as it gets. You decide to overlook that probably because she has money or he has connection or one thing. No, you're making a mistake. But because trust me, if you go ahead with that relationship, with that marriage, get married, and then the novelty of maybe he has money wears off. Of course, you guys are married now, so what is his is yours and all that. And then you will realize that you hate this person. You begin to loathe this partner of yours because what? You can't even fit in with him or her in public. Maybe, for example, I'm sorry, I'm going to be using most of the guys because I'm a girl, so I'm going to be speaking, but I'll try to balance it up. So maybe this guy is the type that eats with his mouth open, like when he's chewing so loudly, food particles are coming out, and to you, the girl, this is irritating. Or maybe he's the one who's so loud in public, maybe because he has some cool balls in account and he feels he can make everybody notice him wherever he goes to. And to you, that is being crude or unpolished. So ask yourself, if this guy is obviously like this, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, you cannot change him, that's his nature. Will you be able to tolerate it? Because in the beginning you'll be like, oh my god, he has money, he sent me to Dubai, blah 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 blah. By the time you guys are married and you've merged your wealth or whatever is his is yours, you'll find out that you are now ashamed of him in public. You don't want to associate with this guy in public because he does not meet with your social standard or class. So please, if being classy and all that is a deal breaker for you from the beginning, wrong. Don't tell yourself I'll manage, I'll change him. There are so many things you cannot change in a mate. There are so many things that one cannot learn in old age. If it is not in him, it's not in him. So except it's not a deal breaker for you, you can manage in the future, by all means go ahead. But if it is, my dear, there's no point. Leave that money. It's not yours, it's not yours. Find somebody who, what have I even said? For example, if you feel you can manage his crudeness and then because he has money and go ahead with this marriage, what happens? God forbid something goes wrong and he loses all that money. There's nothing for you to hold on to again. You will load him through and through. Is that the kind of future you want for yourself? Think about it. If that is the case, do something now before it gets too late. So what did I just talk about? Social compatibility. It is very, very important. Moving on. What what do you guys talk about during your courtship? Instead of spending most of your courting days always asking where you dey, have you eaten, who are you voting for, big brother, or engaging in one celebrity gossip or the other, why not make your conversation more about where would we like to settle down after marriage? Right? Sister, ask yourself, is this the kind of guy who would want to travel abroad, leaving you in Nigeria, for example, to be having children for him? Does he have you in his future plan, or he just wants to get married to you, then travel abroad either to work or to school or whatever? Find out if that is his plan. And if that is his plan, are you willing to deal with it? Because if you're not, if you're the family-oriented kind of person that believes in unity, stay together, husband and wife, you better cut off and run now. Because the moment the lovey is out of the window and marriage is done, and then reality strikes, his desire and dreams to travel abroad is kicking. And most guys, when they set their minds on something, there's no stopping them. So if you know you cannot cope with being a almost single parent because your spouse is abroad somewhere, schooling, working or whatever, now is the time to do what? Cut that relationship, end it, and find somebody who both of you believe in the same things. Except it is not a deal breaker for you, then the choice is yours. But if it is, by all means, do the right thing. You may also want to talk about how many kids you would like to have. Yeah, some people may say, is it not too early? It's not. Maybe this guy, from experience, came from a very large family where his father was unable to take care of him and his siblings, and he swore never to have a repeat such cycle by having a similarly large family. Then you find out he wants to have just 2 kids, and then after the first and second, do you know, I actually read on Facebook about a lady, a married woman, who came seeking for suggestion on natural abortion methods that she can use to terminate a pregnancy by her husband, not boyfriend, by her husband. Why? Because the husband insisted he only wants 2 children, which they already have, and he's not going to be a part of her going for a regular D&C, and the lady herself doesn't even have the money at the time. Apparently she's not working or whatever the reason, but basically she came seeking for ideas or natural methods of having a D&C. So don't you think that if these people had laid down this issue about how many kids they have in the future, having had the second child and they know they are done with childbearing, they would have gone ahead to either have a contraceptive method, even if they would have gone ahead to get contraception. If possible, go for the permanent ones like BTL and all that, or she will become more regular with her pills or whichever contraceptive method they have chosen. But apparently they didn't talk about it, and now the guy is springing it on the lady as a surprise that, oh, I only want 2 children, leaving this woman alone to deal with whatever will be the act for either go ahead with the pregnancy, of which from all indication the guy may not be caring for her in that period, or still go ahead to terminate if she eventually succeeds with her quest. What am I saying? Have the right conversation. Talk about the most important things. Don't spend your time talking about Chelsea and Manchester match or all those mundane things. Focus on things that actually matters. Talk about the important things, because these things have a way of either making or marrying your marriage and should not be overlooked. Finances. Are the both of you going to be working full-time and then splitting the responsibility bills, or is the woman going to have to stay at home, take care of the home and the kids, while the guy has to go outside and hustle? These things are what you need to trash out, because most women are career oriented. They want to go out there, they are go-getters, they want to work hard, they want to be independent, and this guy meets them in these states. Now, because these issues are not properly trashed out during the courtship days, they get married and boom, the guy starts to feel threatened, probably because his wife earns more than he does. And you find out that this issue of you have to quit your job or your marriage, blah 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 blah, to avoid being in that situation. Right from the get-go, you guys need to trash these things, talk about it. What are we going to both work? How are we going to get a nanny to take care of the home and the kids, or you're going to have to stay home? Let it be an agreement from the beginning, so that when the time comes for the woman to either, maybe the kids have started coming around and the woman needs to shut down, it will not be like she's being marginalized or she's being, is it because I'm the woman? No. An Igbo adage says, Oka Barapa, isi ka eji ekwe ya. An already made agreement is solidified with a nod. Hope I got that translation correctly. But basically, when a plan is already laid out, when it's time, it just works like clockwork. Everybody knows what he or she ought to do, and we get doing it, and things just keep going smoothly like that. So please, guys, need to trash this thing out from the beginning. To avoid coming on Facebook to hide your idea and telling me what should I do. My husband asked me to choose my work or my marriage, and then of course the Amazon women will come out. He's a coward. He's threatened. Kewan. If you guys had this discussion from the beginning, we won't even need to know. Okay? So please, it's left for you two intendings. Talk about these things. Arrive at a compromise. If the conclusion, whatever, doesn't suit you, I mean, you might as well both. Not be every courtship must end in marriage. I mean, isn't that the reason for it in the first place? Find out if you guys can work. Where you can't, you move. But apparently, it seems like we have come to believe that every courtship must end in marriage. Usually you see people crying after all these days, he dumped me. Because it's not working. So when situation, we should learn to also accept that if it's not going to work, or if we don't fit, that it's okay to unfit. Move on. So we need to trash this out. In most cases, you find out the women work and yet they don't contribute anywhere in the home. Why won't the guy get upset that you're working, you're being deprived of your presence and your time, and yet the proceeds of your work and hustle and everything, we don't even feel the impact at home? The guy has to be the goalkeeper, he has to be the player, he has to do everything. It's not fair now. It should come from this side, you come from this side. Abi no be so? Life, ana aga. Salt finish. Okay, need money for salt. NEPA can't cut light. My husband know the house. Haba. If we are the ones that our husbands doesn't mind us working, learn to also pitch in from time to time. That way he won't feel like or begin to question why are you even working in the first place if he's not feeling the impact. So all these small most women, we are the cause of our problem that put us in that situation whereby our husband is now asking us to choose between our job and our home, because you work from Monday to Friday, the house is uncatered for. Still, it's not like you're even helping him financially. It doesn't make sense now. Most of us have 1, 2, 3 boutique here, supermarket here, hair salon here. We have staff that we're paying, yet the home does not feel the impact of our plenty business endeavors here and there. We should learn to pitch in, support this man, so that together we can build a home and the guy will not feel overwhelmed by expenses and financial responsibilities. Sisters, this is for us who maybe I'm guilty, but we need to think deeply about this part. Even if we're already married and we didn't trash this out from the get-go, let us see if we're actually lacking in this area and do the needful. It's never too late to, it's never too late. But for intendings, if this is going to be a deal breaker for you, by all means, cut and run at this point. Cut your losses. Sexual preferences. This part of the world, our culture has made sex so mysterious that even adults find it awkward to talk about it. Not when you are about to get married. Not when you are about to enter this lifelong union that half of the part of it is, it's all about sex and procreation. I'm not saying that's all marriage is all about, but man, it's a very serious part of it. So you people also have to talk about your sexual preferences. I see a lot of hide my ideas on Facebook. Yes, I refer to Facebook a lot because I'm on there. I see things, and oftentimes they form the basis for my thought process, and then I think about certain issues that I consider problem out there, and then I come to my video here to air my view on it, and then probably if I have answers to some questions, answer them. So I see a lot of hide my ideas who come. My husband doesn't like me to bathe before sex. My husband likes to lick my feet. I'm sorry if I'm going to be but you know what I mean. He likes to eat my poo. I see things. For the ladies, there's one that says his wife wants him to beat her first before they get on the action. Like torture turns her on. some want to be choked, some people have so many kinky and awkward and ridiculous sexual preferences. So before the get go, I even forget anal. Some people live for anals. Yes. So right from the beginning, you guys need to talk about these things to avoid, after all, I paid your bride price, you have to submit to me. Mbao. To be forewarned, they said, to be forearmed. So from the beginning, you guys need to talk about these things. If both of you don't mind all those quirky, fine, by all means, go ahead. You're two of a kind. But if they are your deal breaker, please run. Because this thing I'm talking about, if you guys are going to be married for like 50, 100 years, that means you are supposed to be having sex for that long. Can you endure all of these quirky behaviors? If you cannot, sister, brother, now is the time to move, to avoid running away from your own home. There are some who are, what do they call them? They like to have sex like every day. Can you handle it? If you can't, maybe your power no match in power. Please, just say no. He will eventually find his kind so that life will be peaceful for them. Because if you meet somebody whose power is at 100 and your own is at 20, you know balance now. Is it not obvious? So please, this is very, very important. Forget I kind of doused it down in it, but it's very, very important. We need to talk about these things. As yes, talking about it may make you seem, for the girls, like you're too wayward. It's not about being wayward. This is a serious commitment you're going into. So every part of it needs to be carefully and thoroughly analyzed and assessed to make sure it suits your preference before you go ahead. Otherwise, this journey is supposed to be a journey of no return. So you need to be very, very careful. Check all the boxes, if possible, at least 80% of them. Important. So, guys, I have a lot to talk about on this topic, and it's not going to be able to be crammed into this one video. So I just think I might break it down into 2 parts or 3 parts, depends as the spirit leads. So I am going to be coming to the end of this part of the what to consider before you ask, before you say yes, and before you say I do. Okay, so I think that is the title for this video. So please, guys, go through this video and think about these points I have made out. Seriously, give them a careful thought, because they are very, very important, and failure to give attention to them can either make or mar that marriage. We don't want that now, do we? So please, guys, if you haven't already done so, please endeavor to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up or down, whatever. Just react to this video. If there are other ideas I didn't put up here that you feel I can add to my next video, please by all means drop them in my comment section. Until I see you again, hopefully next week, I hope so. Remain blessed, stay happy, and I love you all.